What's up guys, it's Dono. I've gotten several questions asking how to fix up your breath control, so that's what I'm going to cover in this video. Alright, in this video I'm going to talk about 5 different ways to work on your breath control. It's one of the most important things that you can do as a rapper. It's going to help with your recordings, but especially it's going to help with any performances that you do. If you can't go through an entire verse, then you're not going to be able to perform. Now, the very first thing that you can do if you are really struggling with your breath control is to slow down your flow. This means don't put as many words into each bar and give yourself a little bit more time to speak, right? Because if you're doing something double time, like I'm trying to do it a little bit faster, I wonder what happened, I'm getting sick, everyone want to go after it, I get it, I know, then I gotta be sick. You know what I mean? Like something like that where you are going with a lot of words, then you have to expel a lot of air. Now, the other piece of it looks like this. If you slow it down, you might rap a little bit slower. I don't care because you got composure. Now I'm walking through the city as a soldier. Find a pretty girl, I want to hold her. It's a much slower flow, and as you can tell, it's a lot easier to maintain your breath. So just slowing down a little bit is the first thing that I'm going to recommend because it's the easiest and the most approachable. Now, after you've done that, there's other things you can do to start practicing. So number 2 are to start doing breathing exercises. Now, I'm not going to go through a ton of them, but there are a ton of them. One of the ones that I personally like to use is basically this breathing practice where you breathe in once really slow and then forcefully exhale. So you're basically practicing getting nice, deep, full breaths. That's one of many exercises that you can do to start training your lungs to have a higher capacity. If there's others that you want to look into, I definitely recommend looking it up. There's all kinds of breathing exercises that you can do. The third thing that you can do to figure out your breath control a little bit better is figure out when you have spaces in your verse that you can actually breathe in. What happens a lot of times as a beginner is that you try to rap out this entire verse, and even though it has small breaks in some of the lyrics, you're not taking time to breathe in, so you're trying to rap for, a minute or however long the verse is without taking a breath, where instead you need to find these little pauses and take your breaths there. I'm going to show you kind of some places to breathe by exaggerating my breath in, so hopefully you can hear it a little bit better. Everybody see it when I do it, I'm the king though. People want to make it look easy like a free throw. Ain't nobody gonna get it when they got it. I be making all this money, but I do not make deposits. Take a couple seconds looking in the closet, but you ain't gonna see nothing cause I cleaned it out. I got this on lock. Everybody wanna see what happened. Ain't nobody practicing nothing till they is rapping. Right? Like there's times that you can breathe between the verses. Now, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to do this when you're starting out, but this is absolutely essential. If you can't rap for a really long time, you have to find the places to take those breaths in. Otherwise, you're gonna run out of breath and start rapping like this because you have nothing left in the tank. The fourth thing that you can do to work on your breath control is just to exercise. I know that probably seems pretty straightforward, but exercising and increasing your lung capacity just naturally is going to increase your breath control. One of the best but most difficult things you can do is rap your verses or freestyle while you exercise. So for example, going on a run while trying to rap is actually a fairly common thing that rappers do to really improve their breath control. If you can get your verse out under those conditions, then when you're not exercising, it's going to be extremely easy to get through the verse. Now, keep in mind that if you do this, it's going to be really hard. So while you're running or whatever, while you're trying to rap, it may come out really labored. You may have to pause a lot. There may be a lot of non-perfection that comes out, but it's going to help when you get back into your normal resting state to come with a delivery that's really strong and breath control that lasts for a while. The last thing that you can do to improve your breath control is to just practice more. And when I say practice, I don't just mean kind of half mumble, do some verses, blah, blah, blah. You need to actually really practice performing and actually practice doing entire verses as far through as you can. The more that you do this, of course, the better you're going to get. I left this for last because it's pretty straightforward, right? As you practice the skill that you want, you're going to get better at it. Those other things are all ways to supplement this, but the best way to do it is to just practice, to just recite versus as much as you possibly can, because that's going to let your breath control improve at the fastest rate, right? You're practicing exactly what you're trying to accomplish. So hopefully that gives you guys a few ideas on how you can improve your breath control. Again, it is super important to figure it out and work on it, because if you can't say an entire verse, or if halfway through a verse your delivery kind of peters out, then you're gonna have a really hard time crafting something compelling. That's all I've got for this video. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, topics you want me to cover, throw them down in the box below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. I've also got a full 30-day how to rap course. I'll give you a link with a discount code down in the description. And I've got a website, rapbetter.com. It's got some more resources that you can check out. That's it, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. And if you have any questions, comments, or topics you want me to cover, leave them down in the box below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. See you next time.